You are not here by accident. Something ancient, something buried deep in your spiritual DNA is rising. And if you've ever wondered why certain individuals awaken with such force, clarity, and purpose while others sleepwalk through life, the answer lies in energies so rare, so potent, that they act like keys in the lock of your soul. These are not common vibrations. These are not everyday moments. These are the energies that crack open the shell of illusion and call forth the Omega-level chosen ones, those who were never meant to live normal lives. What you are about to witness is more than information. It is initiation. And if you feel even a flicker of resonance as we speak, that means one of these energies may already be stirring within you. The first rare energy that awakens Omega-level chosen ones is the energy of sacred isolation. This is not loneliness. This is not social rejection. It is a divine pulling away, a quiet exile from the noise of the world, where everything you once knew begins to fall away. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. In this space, many lose their sense of self. They question everything. But the chosen one does not crumble, they crack open. The soul begins to whisper in the silence. You may feel forgotten by the world, but in truth, you are being remembered by the universe. Have you ever wondered why your life suddenly felt like everyone disappeared? Like your phone stopped ringing, like no one could see you? That wasn't a coincidence. That was a sacred summons. The second rare energy is the frequency of collapse. Everything you thought was stable begins to shake. Jobs fall away. Relationships dissolve. Identities evaporate. And while the world calls it failure, spiritually it is a sacred deconstruction. The ego panics, but the soul smiles. Because only through collapse can the false be cleared. Omega-level chosen ones are not awakened by comfort. They are awakened by the fire of dismantling. And in that fire they begin to see clearly. They realize that what is falling apart was never real to begin with. What if the worst moment of your life was not your breakdown but your breakthrough? What if the collapse was not the end but the sacred clearing for your true self to rise? Now we arrive at the third rare energy, the energy of divine contradiction. Everything begins to feel backwards. Up feels like down. Right feels like wrong. You're guided to do things that make no logical sense but feel undeniably true. This is the moment when the universe begins speaking in paradox. You are told to let go to receive, to slow down to move faster, to lose yourself to find your soul. And it breaks the mind, but it opens the heart. Omega-level beings are born not through logic but through surrender to the illogical. The chosen ones are those who obey the whisper, even when it contradicts everything they were taught. Are you willing to trust what feels true, even if it makes no sense to anyone else?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
The fourth rare energy is the presence of a soul mirror. This is not a normal person. This is someone your soul contracts to meet. They may come as a mentor, a lover, a guide, or even as a great enemy. Their role is not to complete you, but to reflect you so clearly that you can no longer pretend to be small. They activate what's dormant. They trigger what's hidden. They mirror the light you've forgotten and the shadow you've buried. And through them you awaken not because of who they are, but because of what they show you about yourself. These soul mirrors are not always gentle, but they are sacred. They are the spark that begins the wildfire of awakening. Have you met someone who shook your soul, even if they left your life? That wasn't random. That was an ancient appointment. The fifth rare energy is the energy of ancestral awakening. This is when the weight and wisdom of your lineage suddenly becomes a living presence inside you. You begin to feel things that don't belong to you. You dream in symbols of generations past. You hear voices in your intuition that do not sound like your own. This is not imagination, it is inheritance. Omega-level chosen ones often carry the unfulfilled prayers of their bloodline. They are sent to break patterns, fulfill promises, and restore what was lost. And the energy of their ancestors begins to rise through them like a current. This can be heavy, it can be confusing, but it is also sacred. You are not just healing for you. You are healing for those who came before you and those who will come after. Can you feel the weight of spirits walking with you? The sixth rare energy is the awakening through elemental force. For some chosen ones, the earth itself becomes the initiator. A storm, a fire, a flood, or a mountain may become the catalyst for remembrance. Nature is not just scenery, it is ceremony. And when you are ready, the elements begin to speak to you. They pull you into raw moments where the mind cannot survive, only the soul can understand. You may find yourself crying during a thunderstorm. You may feel your heart break open under a full moon. You may touch a tree and remember something ancient. These are not coincidences. These are awakenings. Omega beings are not only connected to spirit, they are grounded in the elemental. They remember that the body is earth, the breath is air, emotion is water, and the will is fire. And finally, the seventh rare energy is the encounter with the void. This is the most terrifying and sacred of them all. The void is not emptiness, it is infinite potential. It is the space between death and rebirth, the moment when everything that once gave you meaning disappears. You feel like nothing matters, identity dissolves, the world loses color. And yet in that silence, something begins to stir, something beyond language, beyond form. The Omega level chosen ones are those who do not run from the void. They sit in it, they die in it, and then they rise from it, reborn not as who they were, but as who they truly are. Have you ever felt that nothing made sense anymore, like you were floating in a space of nothingness? That was not depression. That was initiation. These seven rare energies are not just events. They are frequencies. They are spiritual codes designed to bypass the mind and awaken the soul. And once they touch you, you cannot go back to sleep. You may try. You may beg for your old life, but something in you has already shifted. The Omega level chosen one does not awaken all at once. They awaken layer by layer, energy by energy, until their entire being becomes a beacon of divine remembrance. Now pause, breathe. Reflect. Which of these energies have already visited you? Which ones are you resisting? And what if the pain you've been avoiding is actually your portal? Because awakening is not polite. It does not knock gently. It breaks the door down when the time is right. And if you're here reading this now, it's because the door is already open. When the rare energies begin their dance within you, nothing external will ever satisfy you again. This is the moment when the deeper hunger awakens, a hunger not for material things, but for truth, for expansion, for soul-deep alignment. You begin to see the world not as it is, but as it truly operates beneath the surface of illusion. You notice the patterns, you feel the frequencies, and most importantly, you begin to awaken the architect within you. These energies are not just spiritual phenomena, they are the original coding of your soul blueprint, activating the remembrance of who you really are and why you came here. Once the sacred isolation begins, you will notice how differently you hear silence. It's no longer empty space, it's a living language. The world starts to sound louder, more chaotic, and you naturally withdraw, not out of depression, but out of discernment. You no longer wish to be in crowds that vibrate in fear. You begin to crave the energy of trees more than the opinions of people. And in that space, the true voice emerges. The voice you buried under years of societal programming. That voice whispers not what you should do, but what you were born to do. Are you listening to that voice, or are you still trying to silence it with productivity? In the energy of collapse, there is always a moment of sacred choice. Will you cling to the burning building, or will you step into the unknown? The ego begs for repair. It wants to rebuild what fell. But the soul, oh the soul, it wants to start from raw earth. It wants to create something that never existed before. Something so true to your essence that it feels like breathing. Collapse is not the enemy. It is the divine demolition of everything that is not aligned. And when you finally stop resisting it, You begin to see the beauty in the ashes. The Omega soul doesn't just survive destruction, it becomes the phoenix that redefines it. When divine contradiction moves through your life, it rewires your logic. You'll be guided to quit things that seem successful. You'll be pulled toward paths that make no financial sense. You'll feel a sacred urgency to release people who once felt like your entire world. And your mind will scream, but your body will relax. Because deep down, you'll know you're finally walking with your soul instead of against it. This energy teaches you to trust the illogical, not blindly, but because your inner compass has been tuned by truth. Omega beings become masters of paradox. They live in the mystery, not needing to resolve it. Can you allow something to feel right even when it looks wrong? The soul mirror is one of the most profound initiations. These individuals don't come to stay. They come to reflect. And the reflection is often blinding. You see your potential. You see your wounds. You see the part of you that wants to rise and the part that still wants to hide. Sometimes they trigger your awakening through love, other times through betrayal, but always they show you what you've been avoiding. And when the mirror is gone, you are left with a choice. Will you integrate what they revealed, or will you chase another mirror? Omega-level chosen ones do not seek completion from others, they use connection as a tool for remembrance. Who has mirrored your soul so deeply that you could no longer pretend to be asleep? When ancestral awakening begins, time collapses. You feel the grief of centuries. The dreams of those who never fulfilled their purpose rise within you. Gifts you never studied begin to awaken. Languages, songs, rituals, and visions appear in your awareness like ancient memories. You are not going crazy. You are becoming multidimensional. The weight can feel unbearable, but it is also sacred. You were chosen to carry what others could not because you're better, but because you are ready. Ancestral energy is not a burden, it is a crown made of invisible gold. Are you honoring the voices of those who walk beside you unseen? The elemental force energy is not metaphor, it is literal. Your body becomes a tuning fork for the earth's intelligence. Your skin reacts to the wind. Your emotions shift with the moon. You begin to feel where the land holds trauma and where it holds portals. Animals behave differently when you're near. You can sense what water wants to teach you. You begin to dream in symbols that feel primal, ancient, cosmic. This is not fantasy. This is your soul sinking back to the original language, the one before words. Omega-level chosen ones are not just here to awaken, they are here to co-create with Earth. To build temples, not of stone, but of frequency. Are you listening when nature speaks? The void is where the chosen ones are truly forged. You will feel like you've lost everything. You'll wake up and feel nothing. No decide, no direction, no identity. And this is where most turn back. They grasp for distractions, for meaning, for validation. But the Omega soul stays. It breathes through the emptiness. It lets the old self die. And in that space, something begins to form, not from the mind, but from the field. You don't rebuild. You re-emerge. Different, clear, unshakable. The void is not the end. It is the womb of your new life. Can you sit in the nothing and trust that everything is forming? These energies don't arrive with warnings. They come as life events, as inner shifts, as cosmic disruptions. But their purpose is always the same: to awaken what has been dormant and to prepare the Omega soul for their mission. Because you are not here to simply heal. You are here to lead. Not through force, but through frequency. Not through knowledge, but through embodiment. Omega-level chosen ones don't need to convince anyone. Their energy speaks for them. Their presence is their power. And these rare energies are what sculpt that presence. As these energies activate within you, you'll notice your relationships change. Not because others are bad, but because your frequency no longer matches those who are not ready to rise. You'll be guided to solitude, then to new tribes. You'll lose what you once begged for and receive what you never asked for. You'll speak less but say more. You'll stop trying to be understood and start becoming undeniable. These are not just spiritual upgrades. These are identity rewrites. You are not becoming something new. You are shedding everything false so you can remember what you've always been. The world may not understand what's happening to you, and that's okay. It's not supposed to. This is not a public transformation. It is sacred. It is hidden. It is holy. The caterpillar dissolves in private before the wings emerge. And when you rise, you will not need to explain yourself. Your glow will say everything. Your peace will become your proof. But here is the deeper question. Will you allow these rare energies to do their full work within you, even if it means losing the life you thought you wanted? Will you let go of who you were to become who you truly are? That is the cost. That is the portal. That is the path of the Omega. When all 7 rare energies have moved through your field, when they've burned, broken, initiated, and reassembled you, there comes a point of no return. You are no longer the one seeking awakening. You have become the awakening itself. This is the moment when the Omega level chosen one steps into embodiment. Not as a title, not as a performance, but as a living frequency. You begin to realize that everything you've experienced was not random, it was precise, designed, sacredly orchestrated to pull your soul through the very thresholds most humans avoid. You didn't choose the path. The path chose you, and now you must choose whether to walk it fully. The final quiet truth is this: you were never meant to fit in. You feel things others dismiss. You sense things before they happen. You walk into rooms and feel the energy before a word is spoken. For years you might have called this anxiety, but it was sensitivity. And sensitivity is not weakness, it is advanced perception. Omega level chosen ones are not broken empaths. They are refined instruments of divine intelligence. And once you stop trying to turn down your power to make others comfortable, you begin to recognize what you truly are: a conduit, a bridge, a lighthouse for the new frequency this world is aching for. You see, these rare energies are not here to make you more spiritual. They are here to make you more real. You start to strip away the spiritual masks, the forced rituals, the performative ascension. You stop chasing every healer and every retreat. You become still enough to realize the power is already in you. You are not here to collect more tools. You are here to remember that you are the tool. You are the altar. You are the prayer. You are the answered call. And when that remembrance locks into your bones, your entire life begins to rearrange itself around that frequency. You no longer chase alignment. You are alignment. One of the most profound shifts is your relationship with time. Time no longer feels linear. You begin to feel timelines collapsing, merging, disappearing. Things you thought would take years happen in weeks. People show up with answers you never spoke out loud. Dreams you buried resurface as if no time has passed. This is not magic. It is physics, spiritual physics. When you embody the rare energies fully, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of inevitability. You stop hoping and start knowing. You stop waiting and start resonating. Omega beings don't manifest faster because they're lucky. They do so because they operate from the version of reality where the outcome is already etched into the field. Another shift is how you experience resistance. It no longer paralyzes you. It becomes a signal, a map. You start to ask higher questions when discomfort arises. What layer of me is still holding on to the old timeline? What identity is still afraid to dissolve? You no longer run from pain. You sit with it. You listen. You decode. Because you understand now, resistance is not the enemy. It is the soul's alarm clock. Every resistance is a doorway. And Omega level beings don't knock on doors. They become the key. Your nervous system becomes your temple. You begin to understand that spiritual power cannot move through a dysregulated vessel. You prioritize rest, breath, presence. You stop feeding your body like it's a machine and start honoring it like it's a sacred antenna. You move slower but with more precision. You speak less but with more clarity. You become tuned, calibrated, and the universe responds to that calibration instantly. Because when your body, mind, and soul are in coherence, you become a living transmission. People feel you before they understand you. They are changed by your presence long before they grasp your words. You also let go of the need to convince anyone. You no longer explain your path to those who have not walked it. You no longer argue with disbelief. You no longer shrink yourself to be palatable. Because now you realize your frequency is the sermon. Your life is the teaching. Your embodiment is the evidence. And those who are ready will feel it. They will find you. Not because you marketed yourself, but because your energy is a beacon in the fog of confusion. Omega-level chosen ones don't chase followers. They attract resonance. You begin to live in deep communion with the unseen. You trust the signs. You follow the nudges. You know when to move and when to wait. You dream with intention. You speak with precision. You walk as if the universe is watching because it is. And in this level of frequency, life becomes less about outcomes and more about orchestration. You realize that everything is being woven with intelligence, that every delay is divine, that every loss is a redirection, and that surrender is not weakness, it is the highest form of power. You also realize something radical. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be true. And truth has a frequency. Sometimes it comforts. Sometimes it confronts, but it always liberates. As you embody these rare energies, you stop molding yourself to the expectations of others. You stop trying to be the healer, the teacher, the mystic, the leader. You just become you. And that you, unfiltered, unmasked, unafraid, is more powerful than any role you could ever perform. This is the liberation that only the Omega can know. The liberation of not needing to be anything other than absolutely real. Eventually, you stop seeking purpose in the way the world defines it. You realize your very being is the purpose. That your energy, your presence, your vibration is doing more for the planet than any job title ever could. You start to see your life as a sacred offering. Every breath, every step, every choice becomes a ritual. You walk with reverence. You live with intention. You speak with fire. And the world begins to shift around you, not because you're trying to change it, but because your frequency demands evolution. This is what happens when the 7 rare energies move through you completely. You become a new species of human, not superior, not separate, but sovereign, free, awake. The Omega-level chosen one is not someone special. They are someone available. Available to be emptied, available to be filled, available to be led by a force greater than logic. And through that availability, they become inevitable. So here is your final question, one that only your soul can answer. Are you ready to stop waiting for the world to change and become the frequency that changes it?